No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. You know, we're going to be talking some things now that the tax season is over. It's a time to be thinking about tax planning for this year. We've got a new tax code, right? 2018, we have a new tax laws that have been passed. Now, these laws that have been passed have reduced taxes for almost everyone. Some real benefits here. And then one of the things to look at with that, we've got this window. So this the new tax law basically expire in about 7 years. So we know we've got 7 years of these reduced taxes to take advantage of ways and strategies that we can both enjoy the lower tax rates, but also maybe some ways that we can use those, say the strategies like Roth conversions as an example, that we can take advantage of now, pay a lower tax with the potential then of avoiding higher taxes later. And what makes us think, right? What do you think here? Let me ask you a couple of questions. For instance, if you know that, understanding some demographics here, for instance, baby boomers, okay, one of the largest generations ever, and I think it's like 74 million baby boomers are going to be turning, all of them now will be 65 or older in about 10 to 12 years. So we're already seeing that happen at a rapid pace, and that's in 10 to 12 years. That means we're going to have all the baby boomers are going to be 65 or above. Now, what would that look like? And by the way, then we have Gen Xers, 66 million, right after that, and they're going to be also already starting to turn 65 as well. So we got more people then that are going to be receiving Social Security, more people on Medicare. Now, where is the money going to come from to pay for these things? You know, in 4 years, according to the Social Security Administration, in 4 years' time, we'll be paying out more, okay, in benefits than they're taking in payroll taxes. Think about that. So if you're paying out more than you're taking in, where's that money coming from? And this is going to be one of the interesting things about Social Security. If you understand this supposed trust fund or this money that we have out there, understand that there's really not money. It's just IOUs. So what we have these certificates sitting at the Social Security Administration. Years ago, I think it was President Bush went into the Social Security Administration. This is when he was trying to talk about privatization and all that of as far as Social Security, or not so much Social Security, but as far as your
handling the return.
Yeah, allowing you to put money instead of putting it all into Social Security, that you could set aside some for yourself in like a 401k type plan. That never went anywhere. However, here's what we have. There was a filing cabinet, right? And it was full of these certificates. These are just IOUs. All it's saying is that the Congress is going to pay this money. They've taken the money from Social Security, and they're going to pay it back if Social Security needs it. Well, in 4 years, they're going to need it. And what does that mean then? Where is that money going to come from? Income taxes. So we got payroll taxes that aren't going to be enough any longer in 4 years' time to pay the benefits that are going to be required to be paid. And so therefore we're going to take money from income taxes. Now, how's that going to work out? Are we running deficits as it is? We're not having enough money received in income taxes, rather, to pay the expenses that we have. So Congress, in other words, is spending more money than they're taking in income taxes. Now we have the Social Security Administration is going to be spending more money than they're taking in payroll taxes. Does this mean we're going to maybe have higher taxes, do you think? Where's the money going to come from otherwise? So if we have higher taxes coming up, all right, and we know this tax code is set to expire in 7 years, thinking maybe, right, just maybe taxes may go up. All right, so is this a great time to be implementing strategies that can help us reduce taxes? Okay, so that's some of the things we're going to talk about is the new tax code, some strategies you can employ, and some other things as well. And with me to help with that, Dr. Friday with Dr. Friday's Tax and Financial Services over in Brentwood, Tennessee. She is a tax expert for individuals and small business owners. And, you know, this is one of the areas, right, we've talked about before. That's it. When it comes to the new tax code, we've got a nice window here. I mean, taxes
Absolutely.
are...
Now's the time, and planning would probably be the most important thing. I mean, if we've ever talked in the last 20 years of planning and doing, this would be the time, because in the last 30 years we really haven't had a lot of change to the actual code. You know, I mean, this is huge. We went down 3%, which could be a lot of money. I mean, you know, even in the hundreds, saving money, period, is great. But that's going to go away in a number of years here. And then, boom, are they going to be probably changing the percentages. Like 10% may still exist, but it's going to go down to $6,000 instead of $9,000 or whatever, putting more and more people in the higher tax bracket. So there's no question now's the time to think about planning and doing your taxes.
And understanding, when you're talking about going from a 15% tax bracket as an example down to a 12% bracket, okay, that 3%, what that really means, that's a 20% reduction in taxes.
Right.
Okay? Your taxes just went down 20%. That's kind of a celebratory thing to be thinking of,
right
okay?
There.
I mean, if you're making and here's something to consider, for a couple, all right, married couple, age 65 or older, that means you could make about $104,000 and still be in the 12% bracket.
Yeah.
That means that your
Effective
effective tax rate is about 8.5%. Yeah. So about 8.56% tax rate. And we're going to talk about the difference, by the way, between brackets, understanding what that means.
Yeah.
For instance, we know that the amount that you have for standard deduction has gone up. Exemption's gone away. There's some other things that have come in. Friday will fill us in on that stuff. Then we've got a 10% bracket still. We've got a 12% bracket from the 15.
22.
And the bracket, and then this is the big jump, right? We go from 12 to 22 as we,
Right, it used to be 15, 20, 25. We now go from 12 to 22. So and really those two, basically they've put more in, but at the 20, I guess it's 24 tax bracket, that one really hasn't changed. So if you were in the 24 or 25, you're pretty much at the exact same bracket. It's still 1% less, but the brackets or the margins, and then from that point on, they did a little bit of expansion, not a lot. The higher income brackets are pretty much still in the higher brackets or percentages, but the first three categories, great for people that were normally in the 25 to 30. Some of them will be in the 22. Yep. And of course, they're going to feel that 12 to 22 before they hit the 25 instead of the 15 and 20. I mean, that's a lot of savings in your pocket.
Yeah, it's a big difference, and it's a big jump. One of the things that we're looking at then when it comes to your planning is thinking of it this way. Now you've got this window, right, between that $104,000 I just mentioned. So if your income, your taxable income, and this is important, we're going to talk about that as well. Taxation of Social Security benefits, for instance, come into play there as far as what your taxable income may be. That taxable income, if we're keeping you in that, that married couple, you've got, let's say 104, we know is the cap at 12%. That means if you've got less than that for taxable income, you've got a window there that we can use to do Roth conversions as an example. Those Roth conversions can now, you're just going to pay a 12% tax on those required minimum distributions. And if you think about that, I know many clients that I see, they may be in that bracket right now, but when they start having to take those required minimum distributions at age 70 and a half, their bracket's going, all of a sudden that required minimum distribution is so large, it's going to push them into that 22% bracket. Now there again, think of that. That's a huge difference, okay? That's like an 80% increase in your tax rate, okay, on that RMD, that required minimum distribution. So if we can do things now that do Roth conversions, because what do we know about Roth conversions? That means we're taking money that's taxable, we're going to pay the tax on it, and now it's going to grow tax-free. And here's another beauty, right? We do not have to take required minimum distributions from Roth IRAs. Right. All right? So we can just leave it in there, which is great now. So you get 70 and a half. Yep. And if we can reduce down the amount that's in the taxable part because we've moved it over into a tax-free part, just maybe we can also, in doing so, keep you into that lower tax bracket by reducing those required minimum distributions. So that's a great strategy for keeping you only paying 12% rather than 22% on those RMDs.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can't control your Social Security and you can't control your pensions usually. So that's one of the few things in retirement that if you look far enough in advance, you can control, or maybe be able to draw a little less, or work it out. I know there's a few little things you like to do as quirks as far as when you hit 70 and a half, do you hit them all? Do you take it all in that year, or do you take the elective to take 2 in the next year? That gives people that window to make certain adjustments.
Exactly. It's the same thing. We're going to look and see which one's going to be in your best, to your best benefit. It's all about keeping more of that money in your pocket and less going into the IRS's pocket, right? They've got enough to do.
I like that.
That's right. We don't mind them not getting as much. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, by the way, I'm going to get out. When we come back, I'll jump on to first 10 callers. We'll get that out there. So if you want to take advantage of getting in for a comprehensive financial plan, and that includes tax planning. That includes strategies like this to help you minimize your taxes, not only this year but in years to come as well. All right, so first though, a quick break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.